A very good afternoon, horse racing fans. Welcome back to the channel. Getting ready for a big weekend of action. I've got a trio of selections, and we've been in pretty good form recently. Hopefully, we can keep that good form going. Hopefully, bang in a profitable day. I've got quite a few selections at big prices. I think it would be a day for small stakes. It could go one way or the other with quite a few horses running at big prices. But the first one's going to come over in Ascot in the 450 Buxted Royal. Ian Williams trained, Andrea Atzini takes the ride. He's going to be winning the Goodwood Cup next week. He's got to get his eye in for that big ride on board Stradivarius, and I think he's got a good chance of getting a winner today on a horse who has had 10 starts and has never won a race, has finished second on a number of occasions, but a mark of 68 could be a little bit lenient. He looks like a horse that surely at one point promised to be better than a mark of 68. He's been brought along slowly enough by the trainer. He's a good trainer, he just gradually progresses him, and it was a good second on his third last and his penultimate start at Salisbury. Gone within a neck of winning that day with Harry Davis in the saddle. Andrea Atzini is a very good jockey. He takes the ride today. And the last start at Doncaster, I should say, he was a bit too keen early on. He was keen throughout the race, to be totally honest. Never really settled, and then just got tired over the 1 mile 6 furlong trip. Drops back 2 furlongs in trip today. You just think a big race, a galloping track like Ascot could suit, and I'm hoping this horse can run off a featherweight, to be honest. 8 stone 7. He gets the allowance being the 3-year-old against older horses, and it's not the strongest race in the world, so I'm hoping at 18 to 1 he can maybe run a big race, maybe even run into a place at a price. Next selection's going to come in the penultimate race at York, the 755. The boys in blue, Side Bin Cigar, Danny Tudhope teaming up. They don't team up too often, but when they do, it's usually successful. You think of some of the horses they've had, especially this season, have looked pretty promising. And this one, Marching Army, is 4 to 1 in the market. Won his last 2 races at Kempton, and is a horse that just is so game. Never wins by far, to be totally honest, or hasn't in his last couple of starts. Was just a neck last time out at Kempton. That was in a pretty strong race in the all weather. We had some horses rated nearly 100 in that. That was off a mark of 90 under Holly Doyle. The horse has been put up £4 for that. Danny Tudhope takes the ride back on the turf as well. I think this horse does like the turf, can be a lot of improvement. His third Collier start at Leicester might have even been a Collier best when winning by about 4 lengths on the rattling quick ground, Good to Firm. I think the Good to Firm ground is key on the return. That's not going to be an issue at all if you consider connections. They can bring one back fresh. So just thinking the list, there might not be too many horses that are open to improvement as much as Marching Army at 4 to 1 would be a little bet for me. Last tip of the day comes in the next race at York, the the 825 Amber Dew for Jonathan Fisher taking the ride, 10 to 1 in the market, and this is the easiest assignment this horse has had for some time, I would say. Talking through his last couple of runs, third last start was at York, sent off 66 to 1 in that competitive handicap won by Harry Thoy. That was the Class 2. The winners won against in a listed stakes at Deauville by 4 lengths. That was impressive. The form of that horse has worked out well. That was off a mark of 84. Then ran in the Hollywood House Stakes at Ascot, the big handicap, was outclassed in that finish 18th, but again was off a mark of 84, and it was very competitive. Latest start again was at York over 5 furlongs and was a little bit slowly away, then was rushed up into the early lead. Maybe did a little bit too much too soon that day. Didn't really make an impression in the final furlong. Just kind of stayed on and went backwards, if anything. I think if this horse can just get a quick start, get out in front, set a strong pace, and really make it a test over the 5 furlongs, a strong gallop, drawn in stall 13, whether that's a positive or not, who knows, you never know at York at the end of the day. But I think at 10 to 1, this horse, it's a much easier assignment. This is pretty much a 0 to 80 race. He's been running in races 0 to 100. at the end of the day. So it's much easier, might be able to dictate from the front, maybe even get the stands rail and dominate from there. 10-1 in the market will be a pretty solid each way bet for me. Hopefully rounding off a day, hopefully we can get a winner or two, maybe a horse running into the frame at a big price as well. So that's all from me today. I will be back tomorrow where the big action does take place, but hopefully at the pipe opener today we can get a winner on the board. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.